here again with another Breaking Bad Season 4 episode review video. Before I get into that, though, pretty important if you are caught up to the point where I am and rewatching or watching Breaking Bad, or you're just not entirely sure, then you definitely need to take the initiative and pay attention to the episode's title, which of course I'll mention, as well as put in the description. If that happens to be the case, you find out you're not caught up, it would be my recommendation that you don't watch this video any further to avoid any potential spoilers. And for those of you that are wondering, I've seen Breaking Bad many times. I think this is at least my 8th time. It could be as many as 10 times that I've watched this show from beginning to end. So join me and the man, the myth, the legend, the Lucifer and Dexter fan, as well as a Breaking Bad fan, Crazy Coffee Man, to discuss this awesome and amazing show. With that in mind, this will be Breaking Bad Season 4, Episode 3. The title of this episode is called Open House. And this will be my review, reaction, recap after just finishing watching the episode. We start off with Walt arriving at the lab and making some coffee following his altercation with Mike. Walt's left eye looks bad. There's a camera in the lab now, and it's following Walt around. Wherever he goes, the camera angle changes to where he is, and Walt flips off the camera as it is annoying him that it's following his every move. Skylar's at Walt's place. She's not leaving. She calls his phone and she can hear the cell phone ringing in his apartment. And then Walt finally opens. Now is not a good time, but Skylar wants to talk about the car wash. Walt says he has a hell of a lot on his mind than buying a car wash. Walt tells Skylar that he was in a bar fight, and Skylar says frozen peas, but Walt doesn't have any, or any ice for that matter. Marie's at an open house, and she starts with she starts to top off. She has her wine topped off to start with. She's telling the man some BS stories about her life. Marie arrives back home, she brings Hank home some Fritos when he said Cheetos. There's also a spot where it zooms in on this little statue thing, I believe, and I'm not 100% sure. I believe she stole that from the open house. You know, she likes to steal things at random. In addition to the Fritos that she brought back when Hank wanted Cheetos, she also brought a fantasy football magazine. But Hank says the draft's not for 2 months, so it's useless. Walt complains to Jesse about the camera. Jesse asks if he wants to do something. Walt says, no, actually, I'm doing something. I have a meeting. And Walt asks Jesse how he's doing. And Jesse says good. And Walt asks if there's anything that they should talk about. And Jesse asks Walt, how's his eye? Anything you want to talk about? Jesse says getting the shit kicked out of you kind of get used to it. Saul Goodman is trying to talk Walt and Skylar into another business, the nail salon this time, which he tried to talk Jesse into, and Skylar says we're buying the car wash. During the meeting, Huel needs to use the bathroom. Okay, we'll go to the bathroom, Huel. And then Skylar tells Saul Bogdan could use some motivation and a attitude adjustment. Saul Goodman suggests violence, and Skylar says, we don't do that. And Saul's like, could have fooled me. Skylar says it has to be this car wash. Saul thinks this is a bad idea because they don't have a Danny. Well, at least they don't have a Danny put into place already. He didn't say that, but I'm just adding that into that. Back to the open house for Marie. She's taking a look at some spoons. More BS stories from Marie. Stephanie, the person that's kind of running the open house, while vacuuming, notices one of the spoons being gone. Jesse rides around in a go-kart. Jesse goes back home and more crazy shit is going on there, and people are leaving his house with his stuff. And he doesn't even care, really. Marie is telling the homeowners a bunch of more bullshit stories about her family, but the problem is she said she's changing her story, so Stephanie comes in and she can hear a completely different story that Marie's telling the owners of the house. as and then what happens is Stephanie chases Marie and accuses Marie of stealing the spoon. She grabs Marie's purse and breaks it. She tells Stephanie, "You're in big trouble." Hank gets a phone call. It's Marie, and she's crying. She's been taken to the local police station. Hank sends Tim Roberts there to help Marie out, and she gets off without any criminal charges filed, and she says she's not going to file as well, and does some more crying. Skylar's cleaning baby bottles when she gets an idea and calls Saul Goodman. And then we have Kubi, played by Bill Burr, tells Bogdan that there's an issue with his filtration system at the car wash. He has to suspend all activity. He's actually listening to Skylar through a Bluetooth headset. Was that specific enough for you? He asks Bogdan. That's, from what Skylar tells him. Hank's not eating his food. Tim Roberts actually stops over. He's there for Hank, actually, not Marie. And Tim Roberts asks Hank, rock collecting? Hank says, they're minerals. It's cataloging. Tim Roberts wants Hank's help on a case. Ever come across the name Gail Bedecker? Roberts gives Hank a copy of Gail Bedecker's lab notes book. He wants Hank to take a look at it. And Hank tells him to give it to Steve Gomez. If he does that, it will become a DEA case. Skylar's waiting for a call from Bogdan. Walt says it was a good try, and Skylar says he'll call. Just wait. The phone rings. Bogdan asks if she's still interested in the car wash, and Skylar changes the price to $800,000. I believe she said $879,000 initially, and lets him go. Like, okay, if you don't want to give me that much, then I should say, if you don't want me to give you that, then I'm not going to buy the car wash at the original price because you were rude. And hangs up the phone. The phone rings again. Jesse's trying to throw money in someone's mouth as they're passed out, and he eventually succeeds with that. Jesse tosses money up as everybody scrambles to get it, all the hobos and homeless people and all the people that are just hanging out at his place. Free money, bitches. I don't remember if he said free money, bitches, but he probably did. Walt and Skylar toast. Skylar starts freaking out about the $320 bottle of that Walt bought. How did you pay for it? We're broke, remember? But you're not broke because you have all this money from gambling, right? Or is that not official yet because Saul Goodman hasn't done all that stuff yet? I don't know. And then Skylar compares it to Watergate. The devil is in the details. I like that line. It's late at night and Hank and Marie's, as Hank is still up watching TV. He starts to take a look at Gail Bedecker's lab notes book, and that's what ends this episode of Breaking Bad. So, okay, Steph, the whole Marie stealing from the open house is just stupid. Her character's been getting better, and then this happens. It's like they want you to not really like Marie that much, but I don't know. I'm going to give the episode an 8.4 out of 10 because there's still some good stuff here. The suspense of Hank taking a look in that lab notes book. We don't know what's in that lab notes book yet. There could be anything in there. There could be names. There could be addresses. Well, I'm sure Tim Roberts would have looked at it too and knew all that stuff. But 8.4 out of 10. And then my characters of the episode, Skylar, with her, negotiating for the price of the car wash and getting that from Bogdan. And then, of course, Walt for just being Walt. So Walt and Skylar are the characters of the episode. Tim Roberts was pretty good, and I can't remember if we see Tim Roberts again after this. I don't remember. So you've heard everything that I have to say. Now it's your turn. If you're a fan of Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, or El Camino, a Breaking Bad movie, which they're all in the same universe, so hopefully you are, then you need to help me out with the YouTube algorithm and Hulk smash that like button. Share the video with a friend. Put this video on any one of your social media platforms. Don't forget to sound off in the comment section and discuss the episode with me and the man, the myth, the legend, Crazy Coffee Man himself. What did you think about it? What would be your score of the episode? If you had to choose of male and female characters, you can do that as well. Or just one character of the episode, that's fine. And then last but certainly not least, don't forget to hit that sub button. You're watching the video anyway. Subscribe to the channel, join the team, show your damn support, and be a part of something special. And JDev will return.